JJ the CPA here. Listen, let's talk about the effect of these new tax credits if you're getting PPP money. So I'll have an in-depth video on this, but I do feel like right now we're not going to get any further guidance from the IRS. I did come across something last night, and I think where we're at now is that if you're getting PPP money, you're not going to get the employee retention credit. Now, if you are not getting PPP money, then you want to do the employee retention credit. Go check out my videos on that. I've got a worksheet at jjthecpahelp.com. Basically, 50% of what you're paying your employees is your tax credit, up to $10,000 per employee. If you're less than 100 employees, it doesn't matter if they're working or not, you get that credit. Now, there were two other credits that came out of the Families First Coronavirus Tax Relief Act, and one of them sick leave, and then one of them is the Expanded Family Leave Act. And I've got lots of data on that. Go to jjthecpahelp.com. I've got worksheets out, the yin yang and discussions and videos and all that stuff. So I'm not going to even brush on those two. But here's what you need to know. The law as it relates to if you got PPP does indicate that if you're taking those credits, it's going to reduce down the amount of your loan forgiveness. So, weigh it out with your tax advisor, because on the one hand, it's like, well, maybe I don't care that not all of my loan is going to be forgiven because I need that credit now and I need the PPP now. You'll have to weigh it out. But the thing to note, though, is it becomes somewhat of a wash. But that's just during PPP money. The difference with the employee retention credit is it does seem like they're not going to budge on this, in that if you get PPP, you simply don't get the employee retention credit even after PPP. Now, these other two credits require us to be, in essence, shut down, or someone has COVID or the threat of COVID or taking care of COVID or quarantine, and that's all going to go away. But then, the one little juicy thing also that came out of the CARES Act besides these tax credits, so basically what I'm telling you is these three tax credits, they just don't mix well with PPP, and ERC doesn't mix at all. But you can defer the employer portion of the Social Security tax. That's a 6.2% tax that every employer is paying, at least on the first, I want to say it's $137,700 of wages, right? So you can defer that as an employer. The IRS did come out and basically made a clarification that indicated that if you're doing that deferral, you can do it up until the point of forgiveness on your PPP money. But then once you reach forgiveness, you determine the forgiveness on your PPP, then you can't continue to do that deferment. Whatever you do defer, you pay half in 21, half in 22. Those are the years. So if you're planning on doing that, you want to do it now. So if you're in a really major cash crunch, or you have enough of that tax that it's going to make a huge impact. I do think there's a practicality there, though. I mean, if this is going to be $600 every couple pay periods, I don't know if it's really worth it, in the sense of you got to track it and it's carrying over to next year. But don't get me wrong, if that $600 is the difference between you keeping your business or not, then do it. So those are some things out of the CARES Act, the Families First Tax Relief Act, and kind of how it interacts with PPP. So that was just a quick summary there for you. Figure out if you should take advantage of it. And then if you're not getting PPP, then you really, really need to get after taking advantage of all three of these credits. Just remember that you can't use the same credit on the same employee on the same day. And then look at Form 7200, because you can do an advance on your ERC if you didn't get PPP in advance, meaning that you get money up front. You're anticipating what the credit's going to be. You put the 7,200, you're going to get money back. You can put it in more than once. Don't have to do it just once a quarter. You need to take a look, and if you're not getting PPP, you definitely need to do the 7,200, get it faxed into the IRS for your first quarter. So if you paid employees, whether they worked or not, if you have 100 employees or less, from March 13th to March 31st, period the end, okay, assuming you're in an area where there's the COVID-19 shutdown, which I think was everywhere, you're getting this tax credit. It seems pretty unbelievable. So if you're not getting the PPP, you need to convert on these other four things: ERC, the sick leave credit, the expanded family leave credit, as well as the deferral of the employer Social Security tax. So make sure you're keeping an eye on those things and take advantage of what you can. But really what it comes down to is if you're tied up in PPP, these things are going to be these things are going to be diminished in the help for you. So, all right, listen, and again, jjthecpahelp.com, and I'm telling you right now, I think you'll be impressed in the sense of the worksheets that I have for you and the explanations and the worksheets providing, directions and things like that to really help. I got a video where I walk you through the 7200. I got a video that walks you through the calculations, a video that walks you through the calculations of the credits. So anyways, I put it together. It's there to help you. There's not going to be any email that you put in and then I try and sell you something later. It's just there for you to help. And so anyways, hey, and then real quick, I'm just going to throw this in. I'm going live every day at 4 p.m. So if you have any questions, just email JJ at jjthecpahelp.com. We're trying to get to as many as we can. Plus, it also helps us know what people are still having issues with. And then I'll just say this in closing on the PPP as it relates to the forgiveness. Just spend what you need. Let the chips fall where they may. You won't go wrong that way. You will not go wrong. You can't really do it wrong if you're just doing what it is that you need to do, okay? Don't send your employees on unemployment if you got PPP because you told the government that you're going to pay those employees. You're going to walk into the bank and the FDIC or whoever's going to be looking at your documents for forgiveness, and they're going to now wonder what in the heck happened here if you let your employees go on unemployment. So I know that we want to start looking at headcount and things to that effect. I have a nice summary on my page called Forgiveness at jjthecpahelp.com where I list right from the law, here's the dates that you need headcounts and things to that effect. And the way that calculation is put together, there's no real way to snake through it. There's no way to outsmart it because of the way that it analyzes the headcount compared to the dollars that were spent. And you got to bring in detail for every payroll period and the payroll costs. There's plenty of them to compare to. There's no way you're going to be able to get away with jack squat. I mean, they're going to know who the employees' names are. They're going to be able to do any comparison. And so if you got any kind of sizable loan especially, they're going to focus in on that. And it's all right there, okay? You can't even pull the wool over their eyes because you're filing every quarter, whether you realize it or not, documents with, for starters, the state unemployment tax that lists all your employees and what their earnings were. So it's not that you would be fibbing on the amount of wages, but they're going to see that, okay, you hired new people or you're paid more, or you went from 4 to 2 people, but you had the same payroll and it's because you did raises, et cetera, et cetera. So just look at it as if you gave someone $100,000 and you said, hey, just spend what you need. How would you be then expecting them to spend that? Do that and you won't go wrong. All right, hey, there's an update and kind of going through all these other things quick. And I really feel like if you didn't get the PPP, there's a lot of other things you can take advantage of. So get after those. All right, hey, JJ the CPA out.